These are Empty Spaces Spring-Summer 2022 Overdrive Denim. They're a heavily distressed pair of jeans that feature several hand-stitched, colorful swatches, a lot of distressing and repair, and a large overdrive tramp stamp on your ass cheeks. But this isn't a review of the jeans. This is a discussion about my journey to learn and love denim. Pardon me while I read from my script. See, I've never owned a pair of distressed jeans before, or really any distressed garment. Having grown up owning clothes as a function of utility and commodity instead of expression, the idea of damaged pants was just moronic. I mean, why would I spend more money on less jeans? I sort of bought these as an experiment to see what the rest of the world was onto that I really wasn't understanding. I tried to understand the point of the distressing. See, my first attempt at understanding these jeans was through a linear story, so to speak. I tried to look at the repairs and the distressing as levels of a damaged jean, but then I realized that just didn't make sense. The fading didn't make sense if these knee pieces were added later. The scabbing on the front of the jeans didn't make sense, and the embroidered colors really didn't add up. So I was at a loss. I have these two mindsets: the more high fashion zeitgeist of appreciating distressing for what it is, and the very utilitarian aspect of why the fuck would I spend money on pants that are already beat up? More money, less pant. Like 3/4 of a pant is gonna last 3/4 as long. You know what I'm saying? So I really felt like I had to bridge these two, like, very clearly diametrically opposed opposites. You know what I'm saying? So I did what any normal human would do. I pirated like 6 gigabytes of fashion textbooks and I started reading. And what did I learn from these textbooks? I learned the unfortunately long history of damaging your pants through means other than wear. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna give you the rundown. While the introduction of jeans into casual wear came briefly after World War II, the rebellious and countercultural image of denim pants came from movies such as Rebel Without a Cause and The Wild One. The impetus for fraying pants comes dually from the British invasion of punk culture and the embrace of cutoffs and Daisy Dukes in the 70s and 80s. After becoming a staple in youth wardrobes, many craved an added sense of individuality in regards to jeans. Some chose to shrink them in water to show off their physique, while others chose to rip, sew, patch, and modify their jeans in any other manner. Many chose to cut their jeans above the knees, converting them into shorts, now being called cutoffs or the infamous jort. The TV show Dukes of Hazzard redefined the relationship between denim and Americana, taking something inherently masculine and popularizing a rebellious feminine silhouette with the Daisy Duke cutoff shorts. Iggy Pop, the singer of the Stooges, was heavily inspired by the British style of dress in the 70s, as well as American singers whose performances often included pants falling apart on stage. As Iggy puts it, quote, "Then, as I began doing more gigs, these flimsy pants I would wear started to rip, and I left the rips in. I thought it looked right. It was the thing at the time for people like PJ Proby or Jackie Wilson or even James Brown to leave loose basting instead of proper stitching in the crotch of the pants. Before the end of the show, they'd rip on stage, and that was part of the gig. But I was the first one to just come out with the rips, as far as I know." This is the birthplace of thrash jeans, and the ripple effect is massive. The Ramones, Nirvana, Kanye, everyone wears jeans with gaping holes, stains, and just as importantly as the damage, reconstruction techniques. Boro and sashiko come from Japan and are textile repair techniques created to reduce waste and allow garments to live longer. Boro is the process of attaching many scraps of fabric to make a single, sturdier, and warmer piece. Sashiko, a similar process, is a decorative method of reinforcing fabric. Brands like Capital and Visvim excel in these methods, using them not only to produce longer-lasting clothes, but also to render a sense of beauty and appreciation for the materials. Clearly, this beauty cannot be found without the damage to begin with. In the modern era, the biggest trend in the distressing of denim, and especially in a high-fashion context, is the appreciation of shape and material. Certain shapes and concepts that were birthed through the distressing of jeans have been reappropriated into forms that don't attempt to replicate authentic damage. Take a gander at these autumn-winter 2003 cargo jeans from Dolce & Gabbana. The knees display a slit not dissimilar to tears commonly found in denim, but this cut is neatly sewn in, with no loose threads or damage otherwise. The absence of distress while maintaining its form suggests that, in some sense, the goal was never to appear authentically distressed, but merely to appreciate certain shapes and ideas that come from this damage.
On the exact opposite end of this spectrum lies Paradox. It's a Parisian label whose primary motif is the innovation of distressing jeans. These pants are grotesque, scarified, a mummification of cotton and dye. No pair of regular jeans could ever reach these levels of duress. They're an entirely new form. Threads form fish scales, organic layers of shape, bushels of darkness. In a way, these ideas reach towards some sort of platonic form, something that exists beyond the mere replication of authentic distress, but are an appreciation of a form that we can't quite grasp if we interpret these ideas through the realm of authenticity. And what does that mean for these jeans? I mean, really, look at these trousers. I think I've found a much greater appreciation for them now. They really feel like a love letter to jeans the more I let them speak to me. The playful embroidered pant splotches placed by an artist, the double knees of a carpenter, the boot shape of a cowboy, and a uniquely punk graphic from a bygone era. None of these additions are intended to deceive you into thinking that they were actually put there by me through means of hard work or creative decision. They're a sort of everyman to the jean. They're just a work of art that you can put around your ass cheeks. So let me know what you think of this kind of content. It's nothing I've ever done before. I've never made a YouTube video, but I was just kind of inspired by these jeans. I didn't know what to think about them at first, and I felt that it was important to me to sort of explicate my thinking and learning process here, because as of recently, I've really been learning to appreciate art and art history as a whole, and that's just something I kind of wanted to share. I'd like to thank Blank Spaces for making these jeans. It's not a sponsored product. I bought them with my own money, but I'd like to thank them for creating something that really inspired and interested me. It was a very nice project to work on. They make cool ass shit. I'd totally recommend checking them out. And I'd like to thank Liam behind the camera. That's all I gotta say.